Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you've had a great week. For those of you who tune in every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live, welcome all back. For those of you who are brand new to Mental Health Moment, we are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. And for those of you who are watching the replay on Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube page, be sure to like this page, share this video, and subscribe to the page. So thanks for those who are starting to join here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Let me know in the lovely chat here where you're tuning in from today. I reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. Yes, am here in Tampa Bay today. As many of you know, I'm usually somewhere or another. Last week I missed you all live actually, because obviously I was traveling. Hopefully you get to catch the recording when I was like literally running in the airport trying to catch a flight. But nonetheless, I'm happy I'm back here live today, y'all. So happy to be back with you all. But let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from today. And let me share a couple of quick announcements with you all before we get started. But if you are new to Mental Health Moment is all about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. So a couple of quick announcements for you all. Some of you may have already registered for this, but I will be speaking in Tampa at the beautiful Grand Hyatt Tampa Bay. There's a conference called the Gathering 2026. It is from July 23rd through the 25th. And it is in Tampa, as I mentioned. So how to register for it, it is WAF as in Frank international.org. And I will put you, I'll put the WAF international.org. I'll put the link in the comments, even though I apologize, but the comments do not go through to LinkedIn for some odd crazy reason. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you'll be able to see it. If not, for my LinkedIners, it is wafinternational.org is where you can go to register. Again, if you're just tuning in, I'll be speaking at the Gathering 2026. I am super excited to be there. Great humans are hosting the event and going to be speaking at the event. There's going to be spiritual leaders. There's going to be different experts in different fields. It's a lot of learning, connecting, being in community with each other. So it's going to be a really great event. And again, it's in Tampa. If you're in Tampa or near Tampa or planning to be in Tampa, July 23rd through 25th is the Gathering 2026. So be sure to get your tickets. Thanks for those who are starting to join here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. California's in the house. Welcome. Bay Area's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Thanks again for joining here. And let me know where you're tuning in from in the comments. I actually have 2 more announcements, but I'm not quite ready to announce it yet. So next week, I promise you, I'll announce something exciting. I think exciting, or 2 exciting things, but I'll announce it next week. So stay tuned. But anyhow, DFW's in the house. Welcome. Where was I? Houston. No, it was Houston. I was trying to remember what airport. It's been a little crazy last couple weeks, but near Dallas nonetheless. But yeah, so today's mental health moment is all about, I know a lot of times on mental health moment, if you're not new to mental health moment, we talk a lot about boundaries, right? Setting boundaries. So today's mental health moment, I really wanted to remind you all that you do not need permission to protect your peace. Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple tips today on that, because a lot of times we may unintentionally allow others or society or whatnot to get in the way of our inner peace. But the reality is you do not need permission to protect your inner peace, right? To protect your peace of mind. Greetings from Virginia. Hey, welcome back. Pittsburgh's in the house. Welcome, welcome. So first of all, so let me know in the comments first, because I can actually see the comments today, which is nice. Technology, I never know, y'all. But let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how protected do you feel your peace is right now? So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like, Dr. Hammond, I feel like I'm falling apart. I'm overwhelmed. I have no peace right now. It feels like in my life. Or 10 is like you feel grounded. You have made it a high priority in your life to protect your inner peace. You feel good. You're relaxed. You're good. Right. So 1 is like, oh my God, I'm falling apart. Inner peace not protected. Or 10 is like the best, most grounded feeling you've ever had in your life. So let me know in the comments just where you're at today. And this is, if you're new to Mental Health Moment, I will remind you, this is a no judgment zone. So I am certainly not here to judge you, but also I always hope I share, this is year 10, y'all. This was like really crazy. A mental health moment. And I've heard a lot of stories throughout my career, actually, in mental health moment and all the places that I'm in. But also, what I've seen a lot of times with the work, right? When I say the work, like the inner work that we all have to do, when we change into better versions of ourselves, sometimes it could be tempting to look back on who you used to be, or the habits you used to have, or the behaviors you didn't like that you used to be, right? Like sometimes we can look back on an older version of ourselves and question, blame ourselves, come from a place of guilt, shame. We're not doing that here. so so as you write your numbers in the comments, I do want to remind you, it is really, really about your own self-reflection and being honest with yourself, but it's not from a place of let me blame myself, right? Like we don't do that here. No judgment zone. Okay. Oh, we got a 10. Woo! Someone is like, I am good. I am grounded. I got my boundaries set. I'm in a great place. That's wonderful. Um, Someone said 8 with war efforts this season. You know what? And it's like I said, like it is all good no matter what your number is, right? This is not a right or wrong for this. This is just a place of like self-examination. We talk a lot about having the check-in with ourselves. So it's like where you're at in the season, which is all good. Someone said a 6. Again, someone said a 6 today, which is good because you know what? If you ask yourself this same question, like how protected is my peace on a scale of 1 to 10? If you ask yourself this question in a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, in theory, your number could be very different. And again, on either side of the scale. That's why I'm like, well, today, right? Like someone said today, how are you doing? Right. Because again, it is so important for us to be at a place of self awareness if we're going to make changes in our life. Um, Someone said upstate New York is here. Greetings. Greetings to you as well. Greetings for my sister. Greeting my sister from the DMV, Arlington, VA. Welcome. We got a couple people in here from DMV today. But welcome again. Dr. Hammond here. If you're just tuning in, today we're talking about how to give yourself permission to protect your peace. And if you see some numbers, if you're just tuning in and you're scrolling up in the comments and you see some numbers, that's because I've been asking people on a scale of 1 to 10 to think about where you are at in this, like today, right? In this season of your life. 10 being the most relaxed version of yourself. Maybe you're setting your boundaries, you feel grounded, like you're at that level. Or 1 is like, I'm hanging on by a thread. I don't feel like I have any peace. I'm overwhelmed, right? Like there's a spectrum. And no right or wrong answers. So a couple of tips I want to leave you with today. So 1 is to make sure that when you think about giving yourself permission, it's so important that we pause before we say yes, right? So a couple weeks ago, greetings to you as well. A couple weeks ago on Mental Health Moment, we talked about asking yourself, if you were here for that. If you didn't, by the way, you can catch all the replays on Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube page. But we talked about asking yourself what season you're in. Are you in a yes season or are you in a no season? And again, not from a place of judgment. This is not about being right or wrong. It's about knowing your emotional and your mental health capacity. We cannot always be in a yes season, and hopefully we're not always in a no season, right? Like we we have different levels of momentum, we have different levels of energy, we have different levels of happiness and joy. Things happen, things are hard, things are easy, right? Like we're in different seasons, but it's really important for us to know what season we're in, for us to make sure we're making the changes and taking care of ourselves. So the first thing is to think about making sure, the first tip today is to think about making sure you pause before you say that yes. I am not opposed at all for you to be like, I'm in my yes season, Dr. Hammond. I'm saying yes to everything. all good, right? There's not a right or wrong, but make sure you pause before you say that yes. So when someone asks you to do something, when you have an extra task, when you have an extra opportunity, which may be good for you or not, where you're faced with a difficult decision, where you're not sure if you have clarity on something that's being asked of you, make sure you take the pause. For some of you, that pause is like a 5 minutes that you just need to take some deep breaths. And some of you, you have to sleep overnight on it. And again, obviously, it varies on what the decision is, but it is important to take that pause because it's really easy sometimes to say yes when we're like, why do we say yes to this? We needed to say no, right? Like someone asks you to do something, you're like, yep, okay. And then you're like, wait a minute, why did I do that? Right? Like many of us are guilty of that. So again, making sure you're taking that pause. Someone said they're here from Ontario, Canada. Welcome. Someone said, I'm a 10. I always give myself me. It's about me. And I love pampering myself. I love that. And let me tell you, I will say that someone said I used to be a yes. Now I think before answering. And let me tell you that that is a process, you all. You know, if you're not new to mental health moment, you know I share this all the time. It is a process to get to that point. So do not worry if you're looking at other people in the comments. You're like, well, they're at a 10, but I'm at a 6, or I'm at a 4, or wherever you're at. It is a process. Is it possible for you? Yes. Does it take time? Yes. None of what I've ever shared on mental health moment is anything that you can just snap your fingers. I wish. I wish. But it's not a snap your finger. It's not an overnight thing. You just wake up the next day and magically you've changed into this new person, right? It takes time. It's sort of like if you were to work out, you would never, well, I don't know if there's some miracle. There's probably some miracle thing out there, y'all. I don't know. But there's some miracle drug or a miracle exercise, right? Where like you work out for a day and you have like the perfect body. That would never happen. We wish. I wish, man, save me some time in the gym. No, but it takes time, right? Whatever you want to achieve. If you need to lose weight, if you're trying to be more active, whatever it is you're doing, it takes time. And it's the same way when it comes to your mental health. There's a lot of stuff that sometimes we have to deal with, traumas that happen in our life, disappointment, losses, surprises, all the things. We have to take care of ourselves, right? And this is a lifelong process. Um, Someone said, greetings from Louisville, Kentucky. Welcome. Someone said, I'm at 7 right now and refuse to check my work phone anymore tonight so I could stay there. I love it. I love it. You know what? And that we are talking today, if you're just not joining, we are talking about boundaries because I don't know why it comes up so frequently. I feel like in a mental health moment. And this is about giving yourself permission, right? Like giving yourself permission to have those boundaries, giving yourself permission to say you are allowed to protect your peace. Like someone said, and I'm not telling people what to do with their work life. You all have different type of jobs and things, but maybe you have to set some boundaries at work. Maybe you need to set some boundaries with your friends or your family members or whatever area of your life that is stressing you out. Fill in the blank. Maybe you have to set certain boundaries for you because you are allowed to protect your peace. Someone said, as I get older, I pause and rarely say yes if I am not 100% comfortable. That is that is such a wise thing to do. That is such like it really does come from a place of wisdom to do that, to pause, wait to say yes to something. How comfortable do you feel? What it like is this something that's going to help your mental health or not? Right? Like just asking a lot of these questions, like filtering the things that are coming at you. We are inundated with stuff happening in the world, our personal lives, our friends, family members' lives. It's a lot, but when we get to the point where we live more intentionally and we think about all the things being thrown at us and taking that pause, you start to see different things happen for your life, which is my hope for many of you. So the second tip is really to think about, are you, and you can tell me yes or no in the chat. Again, this is the no judgment zone, hashtag no judgment zone here, right? But are you protecting your time? Okay, be honest, yes or no, just put it in the chat. Are you, if you honestly ask yourself, are you protecting your time? Yes or no? Okay, let me know in the chat. And what I mean by that is, and I said it a little bit earlier, but it's a different lifestyle, you all. I talk at length about mindset. I've written many books about it, but it is a different lifestyle to live when you are very intentional about your time. Where is your attention going? What are you doing with your time? Like, it is very easy for us to waste time, right, on all sorts of things. And then at the end of a week or at the end of a month, we're like, where did the time go? Right. Or why did I spend my time doing, certain things? Or as we get into different seasons of our lives, we look back of like, what is really important for us? Right. So again, asking yourself, am I protecting my time? Yes or no? Someone said no in the chat. And again, this is like, the, the questions I'm asking you all today, we talked of course about not being in the judgment zone, but it's really an opportunity for you today to be reflective in where you are at. We cannot change if we don't know what's going on with us, right? So if you know that you're not protecting your time, it's all good. Now you can say, okay, I know that's not happening. You don't, it is very overwhelming to be like, okay, in the next month, how do I magically just protect all my time? That's very hard. But some parts of your day, what part of your day maybe can you start to protect more? Like, what part of your day can you say, you know what, let me take a little bit of me time? I talk at length with you all about taking a minute, 60 seconds a day, 60 minimum for yourself, like, wherever you're at, the busiest day of your life. My belief is you still have the 60 seconds in there somewhere, right? So if you need to protect that part of your day and be like, Dr. Hammond told me, right, that I'm allowed to protect my peace and have a minimum of 60 seconds a day, then you do that, right? If you know in other areas of your life, as we were talking about before, you need to set more boundaries and protect your time in that space. As someone even said today, they're not taking any more work calls for the day. So, you know what I mean? Like, however it is for you to protect your time is really important. We've talked we've talked a lot. I think on mental health moment about having non-negotiables. You all, I promise you, once I started learning how to protect my time, and it's not to say like, no, none of us are perfect. Like, we all have things we do. We're like, spend a little bit more time on social media or, or whatever it was, like maybe waste a little bit of time. But overall, being more protective of time, there was a lot of things I realized. I was like, wait a minute, I have a lot of non-negotiables that I need for my mental health and wellness. And it became easier when I had that mindset. It became easier to protect my time throughout the day because I'm like, these things have to happen, right? Even though the day felt, well, I feel like my schedule is busier than ever, but the day felt busier. But still, I'm like, but if I know that the goal is to protect my mental health and my wellness, then these things have to happen in the day, right? Like, I have to have the take a minute, I have to have the me time, I need my exercise, I need to be eating right, like whatever it is for you, like having those non-negotiables in place is really, really important to make sure you are having you are making the space, right? In your day. Someone said, I'm beginning to pause a bit more and protecting myself in time. I love that. Again, this is a process, you all. This is a process. But I love that like you said, beginning, like who it's really about like who are you becoming? Someone asked me the other day, like, I forgot what it was. It was some podcast, and they said, kind of which comes first. Is it you become the person and then you change your habits, or you change your habits and then become the person? My opinion is you when you start, right? So again, if it's take a minute or whatever habit it is for you, you start doing things and then your mindset starts to change and you become this different person, which is really cool. And I wholeheartedly believe that personally and professionally, like you can become a better version of yourself, but you do have to take the steps. First, we talked about it at the beginning, self-awareness. The second thing is taking the steps, even if it's baby steps. And after a while, your mind starts to tell you, because it's true, that you are a different person. You deserve different things. You take care of yourself better. Those things can happen. And then you start to live a different lifestyle, which is very cool. Um, Someone said, not consistently protecting my time, but working on it. All good. And again, like your your level of understanding where you're at in this process is so critically important. Someone said I have to prioritize my time better. Beautiful. Someone said yes. Do you protect time? Yes, I love it. Someone said it's a balancing act. I do schedule time and focus blocks. That is good. There's so many apps too. Gosh, I can't think of one off the top of my head for some reason, but there's some, I mean, you can like even Google it, but there's so many apps too that help with focusing because a lot of us can get really distracted. I don't know about you, but I usually have like 5 to 7 like tabs on my laptop and just so many things going on and then your cell phone's ringing and then this is happening. There's so much happening, but if you get yourself into time like that someone said like just scheduling that time to focus for you or again if you need to use an app or whatever it is you need to do, that's really important too to protect your time. I love that. Um Ooh, I love that. Someone said, "Can you help us understand how to or I guess enforce or reinforce boundaries without becoming apathetic?" That is so good. And I'm glad you asked that because you really don't I mean, gosh, boundaries is such a but the word boundaries itself, there's such a spectrum of it, right? You don't have to be this hardened person that's like etched in stone, like this can never happen, right? And like block everybody out to quote unquote set a boundary. You can be flexible with your boundaries, but the biggest thing is what is it that you need to do to protect your mental health and wellness? How do you work on prioritizing yourself? Do I make some exceptions with my boundaries sometimes? Of course I do. But the majority of the time, I'm like, "Wait a minute, like, right, this is my non-negotiable. This needs to happen for my self-care, for my mental health." But I think to your point, without becoming apathetic, we're not trying to be hardened people. Block the world out, which may decrease our stress for some of us. But again, let's not have our hearts be hardened, but let's instead say, okay, have difficult conversations sometimes with people to say, you know what, right now I'm in a season where I'm trying to work on me. Like a lot of, well, not everybody, but a lot of people can respect that, can understand that. Sometimes it hurts people's feelings when you set certain boundaries, but it's like, but you're trying to work on you. And when you do become a better version of who you are, other people feel that. People in the community, your friends, family members, your coworkers, they want a better version of you. That's a good thing for them too, right? So it's having those difficult conversations sometimes, honestly, um, that's hard. And sometimes people are going to push back on our boundaries, and sometimes people are not going to like it. But you really have to think of what is best for you right now, which it does trickle to other people too. So it doesn't always. I'm glad you asked that question, but you don't always have to go to like the extreme of like, now I just don't care at all anymore. It's like, no, let's not do that. Someone said, yes, now that the building stage is complete and I'm closer to retirement, felt impossible during the family, career, and aging parent stages of life. Yeah. And that's a good point too. Like, we're all in different seasons of our life, right? Like right now, my amazing son, who y'all know I adore, he's about to go into high school, which is crazy. Like, don't get me crying. That's my baby. But this is a certain season, right? Like I'm raising we like our family is raising a child and a couple years from now, when he goes off to college, that's another season, right, of my life. In a gazillion years from now, no, right? Like maybe grandparent season a gazillion years from now, right? So it's a matter of, and then before child, like that was a different season. So, and not just the child analogy, but like there's a lot of different seasons of our lives, whether you're working, whether you're retired, whether you have kids, grandkids, whether you don't, are you married, single? Are you with a lot of friends or not? Like there's all different seasons of our lives, which is why it's important again to assess where are you at? Because your needs are different, right? In different seasons, which is okay. So that's good. Someone said no, but I now realize how systems can prevent this, protecting our time. Absolutely. God bless all, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. Someone said hard to change things as they be. I think that's what it's let's say hard to change things as they be. Change is difficult. I would agree with you. It absolutely is difficult, but it's possible. Right. So I am a huge like I feel like I don't know. For almost 2 decades of my career, I think I've talked extensively about like baby steps because I'm a huge fan of that. Depending on, again, what season you're in, you may be in a season of taking leaps in your mental health journey, which is great, your wellness journey, which is amazing, or not. Like I love people who take baby steps. I'd rather you take some sort of baby steps than just be at the start line. and like never start the race. It's like, let's just right take the baby steps. Because that counts too, right? So I hope that we all, remember that that counts too. Baby steps absolutely count too. It is hard. Yes, change is hard sometimes. Sometimes you run, well, I say run, figuratively, like, or run your race and things happen. You got to take some steps back, right? That's life, right? Sometimes we have people holding our hands, right, through our journey. We're like, okay, we can go a little further because we have support from people around us. That's a great thing. We need support. But change is very possible. But yes, it is difficult sometimes. It is difficult, especially depending on what season and what life throws at us. Um, Someone says setting boundaries and protecting my self interest, my time is a positive asset for my mental health. It absolutely is. It really, really, really is. um, Protecting yourself, like even having the mindset, that's the biggest thing. And I know I get it. This is what I study all the time. Mindset, it's not an overnight change, but like, when you do shift into a different mindset and you really are solidly there and who you have become, it's harder to go back to who you used to be, which is a good thing, right? Like when you do become this better version of yourself, and you look back, most of you, you're not gonna wanna go back to the old version of you, right? That maybe didn't take care of yourself or didn't protect your time or was giving like, just not having the boundaries you need, right? Or not giving yourself permission to have your own sense of peace, which you're allowed to have. Um, oh, you're welcome. Someone said, "Thank you for taking my question." You're welcome. Someone said, "Sometimes those closest to us have the hardest time adjusting to, quote, the new you who sets healthy boundaries." Absolutely true. Listen, I could talk for 30 more hours on that, you all. That is the most truest thing. I hate to break it to you, which you actually already shared, but yes, as you change into a different version of you, not everyone around you is going to love that. It just happens. And you might be confused because you're like, wait a minute, I've set my boundaries now. I'm doing better in whatever area you're doing better. I'm a better version of you. Everybody around me should like that. That doesn't always happen. Not everyone. I would hope the majority of people will. I hope the majority of people around you like root you on, are celebrating with you, are happy for you. But as we know, the reality of life is that sometimes there's going to be people that struggle for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes it has nothing to do with you, and they're just sort of projecting, anyways, things that happen in their own life or traumas or whatever it is. Sometimes it has absolutely nothing to do with you. Right? What's that quote? Like, we'll never make every single person happy, but that's okay. But you understanding if you change for the better, that is a great thing. If everyone around you, every single person around you is not happy, and there's a couple people that are like, "Oh, I don't know, what's going on," that's okay, right? That's okay, and maybe they'll come around. But yes, that's very, very true. Um, Someone said, "New widow, lost husband of 33 years to cancer 1.5 years ago. I'm in a new season, I guess, grief and mourning. Don't know where to start change." Wow. First of all, condolences to you. 33 years is like that's beautiful, first of all, but, condolences to you. That is oh, another mental health moment. That is it. Grief is very difficult. It's very hard. I would definitely say make sure as much as you can, make sure you take care of yourself in this season. 2 things I wanna share about that. And anyone going through grief, I'm going through grief right now, but anyone going through grief is that 2 things. One is to make sure that you give yourself more TLC, give yourself more self-care as much as you can during grief season. And also, I know this one is harder, but you're still allowed to have pockets of joy. The joy may feel different. Sometimes people feel guilty when they're in a space of grief to have even like moments of joy. But you are allowed to have that too. You c- you can have both. Like you can still be grieving, but also find the moments of joy, if that makes sense. So I hope that for you to get to that place, and I know that it's hard, um, but also it's possible to get through. And as well, I guess you meant third tip, and also making sure as much as you can to have some healthy people around you who are like ridiculously supportive. Those people, because sometimes, And not just for the person who said this, but for many of us, sometimes we just need extra people around us to help us get through. If it's your friend, your family member, your coworker, person at a place of worship, your therapist, whomever, right? Like sometimes it just takes someone else to hold our hand, and that's okay. Right? It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're crazy. It doesn't mean anything negative. It just means sometimes it's hard to go through things alone. We need someone else to be with us, which is okay. But yes, condolences to you. And it is hard to change, but it's not impossible. But again, take care of yourself. Um, Someone said that life is like a ping pong. One day you're at the bat, the next day you are the ball. Dang, what an analogy. I mean, it's so true. But I was like, I kind of felt that one. One day you the bat, and one day you the ball. No, that I have never heard that before. Actually, I would definitely agree with you. It's a very, maybe I'm a visual person. It's a very striking thing to think about. But it is true. So the good news though is that sometimes when you are the what is it? Sometimes you're getting beat up, right? And ping pong or feeling like it's ping pong, just knowing that when you practice protecting, we're talking today about right protecting our peace. When you have that as a practice, no, it doesn't make everything glamorous that happens to you in life, but you work on building your mental resilience so you can handle better what life throws at you. Are things still hard? Of course. Do things still hurt? Yes. But there's a part of your brain that just tells yourself, you know what? I've gotten through all these hard things and like I have the fortitude to get through these next hard things. If that makes sense. There's like a switch in your brain where that starts to happen and you're like, "I know this is hard, but I know I can get through," versus, "I know this is hard, I'm falling apart. I can't make it. I can't do this." Like, right, like because we tell our brains tell our well, we tell stories to ourselves, right, about ourselves. Some of them are not true, but some of them are true. Like you are capable, like you can get through, or maybe again you need someone to help you get through, which is okay. But yeah, I love that analogy. It's very true, and I haven't heard it before, so thank you for sharing that. Someone said absolutely true. You're absolutely welcome. Someone said this is amazing. We'll follow this in the future. Absolutely, we're here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm about to wrap up, y'all. So some of you that are not new to mental health moment, usually we're on here about 20 to 25-ish minutes ago. So I know I'm going a little bit over today, but I love reading you all's comments when I can actually see them because you all know that have been here. Technology, sometimes I can't see any of them, which makes me sad. But I'm glad I can see them today. But yes, absolutely come back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Someone said, make sure you surround yourself with people that generally care and love you. Yes. And this could be literally anyone. Like I feel like what's funny? I've heard from people, anyways, am I speaking and just going to different communities and hearing different stories? I remember, God, where was I? I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes, like, some places I go to blur together. So I can't remember what state I was in, but I know that there was this lady that was like, she felt very alone. And she shared that with a group after my speech. And she was saying that she didn't feel supported by people. Like she didn't feel like she had anyone that supported her, right? But to me, it's like I think we make the mistake sometimes of thinking it's like we think certain categories of people have to be there for us. Like we think it has to be family or it has to be a friend, and that's it. And it's like, well, wait a minute. There's so many people in the world that are good people that are supportive people. So I was telling her, anyways, at this particular event about like NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, for example, they have support groups all over the country, virtual, in person. For example, in her particular situation, she was saying she didn't feel supported by her friends, family members. Like she felt alone. She didn't feel like she had anyone. It's like, well, for some of you listening to this, you may relate to that and be like, yep, that's true for me too. But just know that my belief, there's always someone out there that is there to support you. And again, it may not be in the friend group and or the family group and or the coworker group or whoever. It could be someone in a support group, let's say. Um, maybe that's your group, right? Or it could be someone that is in a group of, I don't know, something you like to do, right? Some activity you like to do. Like you find like there's just I just really believe there's so many good people. Maybe because I've run into so many good people in the world and like just different pockets of activities and just different things. So just I share this with you because I just want you all to remember that there's always good people. Even if there's someone or some group of people that did something bad to you, it doesn't mean that's the whole entire world. That's overgeneralizing. There's good people out there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for talking to my statement. Absolutely. I like that analogy. No problem. Thank you, Dr. Hammond. So helpful. Need a platform. I pray that God continues to bless and keep you and all the ladies who joined tonight. Absolutely. Thank you for the blessings. Okay. I'm wrapping up, y'all. I know I'm like way over time. But first of all, thank you so much, you all for joining. Thank you for all your comments. I love when I can actually see the comments. Like I said, I love hearing how you all are doing. As I wrap up, I really want you to remember going into this week to like just be intentional about protecting your peace, be intentional about protecting your time. Um, Again, it takes a mindset shift. Well, first it takes you to be aware, which you all did. Thank you for sharing your numbers and where you're at and being truthful with yourself, right? Be honest with yourself. You don't even have to tell anybody else if you don't want to, but be honest with yourself and then start to make the changes that you need. Baby steps count too. It is better to take some baby steps than to stay at the start line forever, right? Like take the baby steps toward the goal. Um, but again, it is very possible for you being more intentional, thinking about how, like, what is it that you need to do to be more intentional, to protect your peace and to protect your time. All of us have different answers, which is all good, but think about that going into this week. And thinking about, again, baby steps count too as you head into this week. You're welcome. Someone said came late, but I have my peace within. I love that. I love that. Someone said, oh, someone, okay, you're responding to someone else. Okay. You're absolutely welcome. So I really am wrapping up. I will be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Thank you for taking care of yourselves. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you next Tuesday. So bye, you guys. Have a great week.